Hello and welcome back to the Hangry Mexican Podcast. Today on the show, we have a country music star, a pioneer in her own right. She brands herself as the first Latin country music artist. And the road to where she is today has not been an easy one. She has quite the story to tell. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Dianña. DJ, roll that music. Well, Dianña, thank you for joining me in the Hangry Mexican. You are the first Latin country artist. Can you explain that? How are you the first?
Yes, so it took about a year of me researching this to make sure that I am the first. It's due to I was raised Puerto Rican since I was 3. Actually, I thought I was Puerto Rican until I found out that my real father is from Spain. I've researched there are about 6 Mexican Americans who do country music. They sing in Spanish, con todo español, no inglés. And then somebody had brought up Linda Rodstad, and she's Mexican Irish. Did my homework. So it just falls into place where I get interviewed, like people like you who say, how am I Latin? Well, I'm not Hispanic. And so that's where it kind of ties in. They're more Hispanic country, but that gives me the way of using Latin country.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had to really research that one. But you know what? Everyone that I talk to about it who is Hispanic is very happy that I'm paving that, making the way and opening the doors for it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you have a lot of Grammy Award winners in your band?
Yes, I do. We have Alberto Lopez, who is my producer, and he is a Grammy winner for the cartoon Rio. He did the music for that and other things. And yeah, we have Simon, who's my bass player, and he's done really well in music. And everyone that we have has pretty much noted for something in music. So yeah, I'm pretty excited and pretty proud.
Yeah, no, and you're going on tour with them pretty soon, right?
Pretty soon, yes. I'll let you know a little bit of how I thought of Latin country.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. Let's
do it. I was listening to the Zac Brown Band, and they have their song Adios y vaya con Dios.
Yeah.
Get that right. And I was just like, wait a minute, that's Latin and country. And then I thought, okay, let me research that more. And then I wrote a song called Andale Yeeha, Latin country. So, and also the verbiage in it, I had to make sure that it was proper Spanish to keep the Latin country going. And so we have another song coming out that's the same thing. It's got a Spanish and an English, and we incorporate that and make it kind of a Spanglish song, but it's never been done before, so I'm really excited. And again, thank you, Zac Brown Band, for giving me that idea. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, and I imagine it's really important for you and for your roots to have music like this.
Yes.
Was there a point in time when you thought, let me just stick to the English only type of singing?
Yeah. So I've been in music since I was 13 years old. I started off with the Gospel Messengers. I did some songs with them, and then mostly gospel, a lot of gospel. And then I went into rock and everything else. Even rap. I did hooks for many rap artists, Snoop Dogg, a lot of people in the 90s. And then they started to incorporate. I did a song called Aquí Estamos. Aquí estamos. And I was like, wow, they should do some like Latin and rap. And then it was done. And I was like, oh, okay, wait a minute. So, when everything started happening with Cardi B and all of the different Spanish coming in, it was inevitable that it would hit country. And so that's when I just went, oh, that's, the first Latin Country Music Award goes to. It just sounded really good. Yeah.
There you go. So then when did you start making that transition into, okay, this is the type of music that I'm going to be doing as opposed to anything else? I mean, has it always been country?
No. Like I said, I started off gospel, which is interesting because a lot of people in country said, you start gospel, you end country, right? So, no, it's not as easy as people think it is. I mean, I wrote a song called Rubberneck. And I put eres in it. just to keep the Latin country. And plus I'm Latin and I'm singing country, right? And then we did a song, You Got Some Nerve, about online dating. It's pretty hilarious. And I add Adios. My new song Hands is coming out. So I'm like, okay, I got to keep Latin country more, because Rubberneck Rock, it hit over 700,000 hits, know, and it's like, okay, that's rock, that's country rock. I need to go back and kind of reel it in. So my new song Hands, the second verse brings in this beautiful Latin guitar again. And it starts off, he was born a ranchero like his fathers before. From the years of working hard, his hands are callous and sore. So it goes into the Spanish again, the Latin country. I will be going in 2 weeks to El Paso, Texas. I have the opportunity, and I'm so excited to get a band from a Latin Music Award winner, female artist. She's letting me have her band for the day.
Wow.
And I found out part of her band actually toured with Zach Brown, which is really kind of full circle. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to use the horns, and my song Rubberneck, we're going to redo it in the cumbia.
Oh, very nice. That's going to get a lot of people dancing.
It is. And that's what we want. We want to make sure that the crowd, we have some songs that keep, everybody on their feet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Andale Yeehaw, that really keeps people on their feet. And,
It's interesting because I've never line danced. Ever. I watch it, but I'm one of those people, I can't play the tambourine and sing at the same time. It's either an instrument or vocal. And so I just thought, okay, let's do a two-step. And then I went, okay, cha-cha. So I had to do two dances of, country. And then I went into the cha-cha, Andale Yeehaw. And it was like, okay, if I can do it, anyone can do it. And so we did it at the 20th anniversary for the news camp. And I was just so happy to see everyone get up and do it. I mean, it really was. It was like, I was almost in tears because I thought, wow, this is going to work. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that the first time that you've performed that song live?
No. We actually performed it. We do a camp in June, and it's for the Glendale tennis camp, and it's for kids with Down syndrome. And some of the kids from there are from the show Born This Way. Yeah. And so we tried it there because those kids love to dance, those little darlings. So every year I volunteer for this charity, and I did Andale Yeehaw, and they were all dancing. It's actually on my Andale Yeehaw challenge. I have a challenge going out now for people to do.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would love people to do the Andale Yeehaw dance, the line dance, and then do hashtag Andale Yeehaw challenge to see how many people can do it, be creative about it. We actually did it for a bank. They were half UCLA and USC.
Oh, wow.
It was a party, and it was really, really cool. So you'll see that on the challenge. I did it with Shrek at where was it? I think Universal Studios.
Okay.
I went up to Donkey and I said, hey, you guys do the Andale Yeehaw? And he goes, Andale Yeehaw. And Shrek came out and did it with me. I did it at just this Christmas at Disneyland. And we got the Nightmare Before Christmas cast to do it.
Wow.
So that's actually on the hashtag Andale Yeehaw challenge.
Okay. And people can find this on Instagram and Facebook?
Yeah. If you go on my Instagram, DIANNA, what's the underdash?
Underscore.
Latin _country. That's my Instagram. And then you go into my link tree and you'll see them.
Oh,
yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of fun. So we're going to try and get a lot more folks to do this Andale Yeehaw challenge. Because the song, I saw the music video, and that was that's an awesome music video. You did the Spanish version and the Spanglish version.
Right.
But something interesting was just the whole filming process.
Oh.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about that, because I know it was an exhausting day, I bet.
It was. We started off, I think, about 7 a.m, and we ended after midnight. It was pretty exhausting because I had to dance through the whole thing. They actually did a lift, kind of like Dirty Dancing, where they did the lift on her. So my arms underneath had bruises everywhere the next day because I had two big guys. Mark Martinez is amazing. He's a choreographer, and he actually helped me with the Andale Yeehaw line dance for the video. We did it at Fonco Studios. And Fawn Davis owns this amazing studio out there where they work on movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, any movie you can think of, commercials, the Danny Trejo Lipton iced tea commercial where he's a little clay guy. They work on all that there. So we built a room, and I'm talking probably the size of the room we're in now. So how big is this? A little bit bigger.
Probably like 10 feet by 10 feet.
That's what it felt like. But we had a lot of people in there, a lot of lights. And it was just, you could see my hair at the beginning, fluffy and beautiful. And then you could tell it's kind of like a little bit falling out of curls. But it was a pretty interesting day because we had to incorporate the Spanish and then the English. So it was 2 videos in one day.
So how did you accomplish that? The Spanish version and the Spanglish version. How was that shot?
Okay, so pretty much every verse that was in Spanish, because if you listen to the Spanglish one, those verses kind of stay the same with the music, and then the dancing, boot, scoot, 2-step, cha cha, andale, yeah, that's all the same. So luckily we didn't have to do all that over again, but I had to make different words instead of sipping margaritas together. We had to change that, so we had to change the margarita bar scene. Just to make it into the Spanish version. And that was really interesting too, because it's not the same when you change it from English to Spanish. It's not the same story, but it has to be in the storyline.
Yeah.
So that was learning. It's a lot of learning for me.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of dancing too.
It's a lot of dancing. Again, like I said, the dress I had on was pretty heavy, because we had just rhinestoned it out. I had on like 4-inch cowgirl boots, and those were really comfortable at the beginning of the day. And at the end of the day, I just wanted to throw them away. They're actually sitting by my microphone at home, and every time I walk by, I'm like, oh yeah, these boots ain't made for walking.
Man, but that must have been a fun experience at the end, would you say?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, the thing about it is the first video I had out, I also was looking at other country artists, and some of them, I don't want to get it wrong, I think it was Brooks and Dunn. They didn't make it until they put a line dance in there. And it was like everyone went nuts. And I thought, you know what? I want to come out with a bang. I've learned from everyone. Like I said, I did a lot of research. I watched the PBS special, like I told you, that had it was called Country Music. Amazing thing to watch. I don't remember how many episodes. I think 8 episodes of how country started until now. And I've learned from that. I learned what people love. I learned what makes people go or, really grasp towards music. So the line dance was just a no-brainer.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, and through the experience of doing country music and also watching this documentary, so what are some of the things that you learned that you shouldn't do when you're a country music artist?
All right. Well, times have changed. I'm hoping times have changed. And again, I said I'm going to Texas. I saw the whole Willie Nelson thing, and he said, it was really hard to really push himself out to Nashville because he started in Texas, and then Nashville was kind of like, they weren't as inviting. So I thought, okay, well, I started in Nashville, all y'all, letting you know. I wrote Rubberneck and You Got Some Nerve, and we started the recording in Nashville. So I always put Nashville to California. Texas, again, no brainer. I really want to get into the Latinos and everyone there. And so I just think I was listening to Shania Twain's producer, and he had said, we did a lot of songs in Austin, Texas, even though we said Nashville, and he was just like, but still, we're all part of country. Mm-hmm. And that's what I kind of grabbed onto. I hope we changed. I really do. It doesn't, I don't think it's a song, it's my kind of country, Luke, Brian. It's like, you do your kind of country. We do our kind of country. I do my Latin country. So I hope that, wherever I wrote it doesn't, make people not feel the country in it, because it's all country.
Yeah. And these songs that you sing, that you perform, that you write, in country music, they say, at least I've heard, that you have to live that experience to sing about it or write about
Right.
it. Do you feel that that's true?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so I am so happy to be writing country music because everything's a story. I have been through so much in life. I mean, I was in, in a crazy home growing up, and then I ended up in foster care, and then I ended up in a crazy marriage, widowed at 27, just so many things that went on in my life, things that I've seen that nobody else should see in their whole life. So just to express it, when Alanis Morissette came out, I was really happy because I wrote some crazy songs, and now that she's coming out again, hey Alanis, I got songs for you. But it's just Rubberneck. I was at Stagecoach, and I saw all these guys just turning their heads at every single girl that walked by. And so then that's the song, when a girl walks by, catches his eye, Rubberneck, Rubberneck. So I wrote that song literally at Stagecoach.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the online dating, I have friends that are dating all the time, and they're telling me all their stories. And I'm like, okay, I got to write a song. I ain't going on Match.wrong no more. So yeah, I think things in my life, things in other people's lives, become my songs. So watch out, people.
Wow. All right. Well, let's talk actually a little bit about the songwriting process.
Yes.
Do you find like maybe some of these songs just kind of flow out of you, or do you kind of bump into, I don't want to say writer's block, but
no, I'm a Gemini and I write with both hands. I'm constantly, it's insane. I have a notepad with me in every purse I carry. My phone has got so many little recorder things on it. I just, driving the other day, a song popped up in my head. When somebody says something, Dolly Parton had mentioned something one time on that country music thing. And I don't think she realized that what she said, a lot of songwriters speak in song and they don't realize it. I actually have my manager, whenever we have a meeting, he'll sit there and go, "You just did it again." And it's the beginning of a song. So it's really interesting. And that's why I love to watch and listen to like bios of songwriters, because they're actually saying things that could be a song.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you went from gospel music to country music, did you find that transition a hard transition, or is it pretty smooth for you?
No, it's interesting. When I did Hands, it was supposed to be released last year. And we brought it to a big music company, and they said, okay, now we need the song in gospel. This is a gospel song. She literally wrote like a gospel song. And so I was listening to it because the way I started Hands is I was on my way back home from Nashville, and I saw this older man's hand and this young, I actually sang it for you guys at the 20th anniversary. Yes, I did. Anyway, a little kid just put their hand on their grandpa's hand, and I was like, wow, you can tell the life he lived in his hands. And that's boom. Wow. I just started writing on the plane. And that's in their hands. There's peace and understanding, a love that's everlasting, and that's when gospel was like, wait a minute, this could be a gospel song too. So now it's going in gospel. I guess a contemporary adult wants it now.
Wow.
And country. So now I'm putting it out 3 ways to, capture different audiences for it. So it's pretty amazing. I think I went back to the gospel without knowing I went to gospel, but it's still in there. It's still in. I can still be saved. No,
that's good.
Always been saved.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And just for everybody listening, we've mentioned Camp News, which is a boot camp for aspiring journalists, is what I like to say. There's this crazy breaking news scenario, and all the kids just kind of try and be the reporter for the day, and we got mentors that are in the news industry that come in and help these college age kids. But they just recently celebrated the 20th anniversary, so you were there.
Hal Eisner, thank you, Hal. He got a hold of me and he said, "Hey, Dianña, we need a band. We got a 20th anniversary." And I was like, okay.
But yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty good. We'll feed you and that's all. Sorry. But that was okay. They again, like I said, it was just amazing to see and to know that people were loving it. So.
Oh yeah. And I can tell you, definitely, like after the fact, the following day, people were still talking about it.
Thank you all. Hal sent me the frame of what you all wrote, and it was just, they were beautiful, right? In fact, I told him, send me the original because it was blurry, and I was just in tears. People signed things for me, and I was like, wow, just blown away. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And one of the things that I found interesting at that performance, you mentioned something about writing and I'll let you tell the story, but you mentioned something about writing a song for somebody, but you were told this is probably a better song for you.
Yeah, so I won't name names, but I will. Yeah, I wrote a song for Shania Twain, You Got Some Nerve. And then a person very close to her had told me, I said, yeah, I just wrote this song for Shania. I was talking to her manager, and he's, now she's doing her own thing now, and she really wants to get her songs. And so they just looked at me and said, do it yourself. That's a great song. I mean, you're a great writer. You should do it yourself. And so in my mind, I thought, okay, you know what? It's Shania-ish. And the great thing about it is I'm getting all of these things on Instagram and Twitter and everything going, you're the next Shania Twain. You could do. My email is ShaniaD3. Okay. So my email is Shania. I used to do shows of Shania and incorporate her songs in my shows. So, so to me, that's, thank you all so much. Cause I couldn't ask for a better, hey, you're like Shania. All right. I love Shania. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
No, that's fantastic because, you're a jack of all trades, really. I mean, you're
a Jill.
A Jill of all trades.
I'm a Jill of all trades.
Yeah, you perform.
Yes.
Well, in the music videos, I mean, you can tell that you've had some acting classes too. Or I mean, you're a very good actress.
Thank you. I took a couple, and I actually got it. I went in, and we had to do a song, and you couldn't sing it. You had to act the song.
Really?
Yes, that's an acting.
So it's just like miming.
That's a lesson. No. You sing. You just say the song. You pick any song, and you say it.
Oh.
Like if you were to be, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why. And you just have to really act the song as if it were just lines. And so it was really cool. Yeah, some of them were funny. I don't know if I can mention them.
You can go right ahead.
No, there were some funny ones. One of them was just like, do your ears hang low? Do they wiggle to and fro? You know that song? The person did it. But it was so funny how they acted it. And it was just like, wow, I will never hear that song again the same. I don't think I'll hear it anyway. But it was pretty funny. But I did one of my songs. And it was interesting because I wrote a song, and when you go to bed, I hope you lay your head in misery. And when you drink your wine, that was one of my Alanis songs. And everyone's face was like scared, so scared. They're like, wait a minute, she's a widow. Wait a minute.
Oh, no.
I'm like, no, seriously.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So that was fun.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah,
I went to 2 acting classes, people, and people said, "You're an actress. You were born." Edward James Olmos is one of my best friends. Eddie, love you, Eddie, and he's the one that told me. He says, "If you get into one acting thing, you're gonna be amazing." So yeah.
Well, have you been on any television shows or any movies or anything like that?
I've been in music videos. Again, the rap artist. I was in their videos. I've done a couple things. I wrote the song in 2006 for Susan G. Komen, Stand Up and Live Strong. And that was one of my videos that I first did to really get myself out, in the music. And that was just, the photographer said the same thing. You're natural. We barely used it was a really cheap camera and it came out really good. So I guess they say when you have something, when I sing my songs, when I'm even performing on stage, I put myself in another zone. Because again, every song is a story, and that's how you remember the words. Otherwise, I'm not kidding you. I can't sing a song for anything unless it's a story in my head. Okay. I won't remember the verses.
That actually was, that brings me to my next question, because I've always wondered how in the world recording artists can remember the lyrics to all these songs. How is that even possible?
It's insane. Yeah. So even the national anthem, okay, I see the I just, every single word, I think of it as, they're hiding through the mountain and they're doing, actually that song I kind of black out though at the very end. I'm like, am I going to hit the note? Did I go low at the beginning? Yeah. But, I think most of us do it the same. I think we know that we have a story to tell. The choruses aren't always the same. If you listen to my song, You Got Some Nerve, I demote the man in every single chorus because you're a hell of a man with a hell of a tan that makes all the girls go wild. I think the other ones, because you're a hell of a man with a store-bought tan in your mind, you make the girls go wild. Another verse is you make the trailer park girls go wild. So that one I kind of like really have to focus on. I have to make sure, trailer park's in the middle.
Oh man! But basically, you're saying like it just you have to treat it as a story that's playing out in your head to remember the lyrics.
Oh, you start off walking up to the door and you end up leaving the door. Yeah, it's everything that happens in the middle of it. Yeah, so you just definitely have to. I that's what I do. I mean, and it helps me tell the story. Mm-hmm. So otherwise, I don't know how other people can do it.
Wow.
I really don't.
Yeah. Are there any other traditions that you, or I don't want to say rituals, but more like traditions that you do before you go on perform somewhere or do?
Are you going to make me tell everybody that
No.
Well, a lot of you, this is the cutest dog over here right now.
Sandy? What's Sandy doing? Sandy,
yeah.
Come over here, Sandy.
Sandy's giving away my secret. Yeah, so you know what? I think we all do it. I didn't do it for the 20th anniversary camp. Sorry, I know it was at a Bible camp, Virginia. And I had to sing cuss words looking at the Lord up in the thing. Thank you all for doing that. But I usually have a little glass of wine just to make me remember the words, and just to I think we all have our little thing. Warm ups, what we do. I do a lot for charities for the kids at Christmas time. So for that, I don't, but I do a lot of character. This year I was Lucy Liu. Yeah.
Really?
Well, actually, Martha May. Lucy Liu's too young. I was Martha May. We had the Grinch. But yeah, for different shows and different things that I do, I you have your rituals. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's actually talk a little bit about your charities that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. So, what charities are you involved with?
Okay. I started. Well, I was in Temecula area for a long time, so we did the Raising of the Torch for kids with Down syndrome. We took, I don't know how many families off the street for Thanksgiving a few years ago, and kind of donated clothing to them, gave them their own fashion show, fed them, and I mean it was amazing how charities to me are people who appreciate. And to me, it just warms my heart. Those are the best shows, I feel. We a while back, we took 10 women off the streets because I could have been on the street. I had a really, really tough life. Again, like I said, I was in a home that was insane. And then I ended up going into a foster care, which was another insane environment. And then my marriage was really, really hard. It was a very violent. It started off really young, so you don't know your personalities, and I chalk it up to that. But I could have been like those women. So we took them off the streets and we gave them makeovers and brought them in a limo and tried to give them career choices and better choices in life. And I remember one of the women, she stopped and said, "What is this? Your bucket list? Is this something that makes you feel good?" And so I explained my story, and I said, if I took all my makeup off, you would see me too, and my scars. So, I do things for people. I do things for things that have happened to me in life. I want to give back. And then, recently for the last 5-6 years, I've been doing the Burbank Tennis Camp, and that is for kids with Down syndrome. In the summertime, we do a lot for them. We do shows, they do tennis. And then, I brought in Victor Orlando of the Gap Band. He brought in his congas and showed them all how to play instruments. Again, music is a major factor in kids with Downs. I mean, they just love music. And then in December every year, I'm with Santa Claus, and we hand out things for, toys for kids and give them an amazing day. And Santa, they're just so happy. And then I go off the next few days to the ARC, and I become Santa. And I hand things out for the kids and always do a show. I always have a show for them. I dress up as candy cane. I was gingerbread, Santa's helper. Every year I dress something new. So they don't remember me in the summertime. They're like, it's candy cane. I'm like, who's she?
Oh boy.
I have to give. If I don't give to something, it's not my year. I have to be doing something. Yeah.
Are there any other organizations that you want to get involved with?
Like I said, I Susan G. Komen, it's really interesting because I didn't know. I really haven't been participating as much. I did write the song Stand Up and Live Strong, and I do know that a lot of people tell me they still play it.
Wow.
And I sang at the Celebrity Center when she received an award. And I do know that a lot of people recognize the song. So that makes me feel good because I know I worked for the courts. I did serving for people. Please don't kill the messenger. But anyway, there was a woman in there, and she was a district attorney, and she had stage 4 cancer. And I just remember one of the reasons why I wrote the song, and plus a family member and a grandparent had gotten breast cancer, and I thought I have to do something. But it was interesting because she was telling me that she had twins and that she didn't want her husband to get remarried and raise the children. And so my comfort to her, I guess, was to tell her that I was widowed and I never remarried and no one raised my children. So you don't focus on that. So yeah.
It always helps when you've experienced that too.
Yeah.
Working in news, I've seen things too that I don't think a lot of people will see in their entire lives.
Oh, I'm sure.
But all that experience has given me a different perspective in life that has helped me, pursue certain things, certain goals, and also try and help people.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons also why I created this podcast, so I could talk to people that help other people by whatever they're doing.
Right.
So in your case, yes, exactly. Yeah. And
I could have been on the street, y'all. I'm not,
Yeah.
because women that went through what I went through, and I'm not even saying anything to what I went through in life that, you can imagine. And it has helped so much through music. Everyone says, have you ever gone to a psychiatrist? Have you ever gone for help? No. Everything that goes on in my mind and my body goes into music. It really does. And I don't write poems. I write a song. Mm-hmm. See, that's the thing. I don't use instruments. Everyone keeps asking me, what do you do it on the piano? If I hit one note on a piano or one strum on a guitar, I will lose the whole song. So the music is in my head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if I'm going to write a poem, it's going to be a poem. If I'm going to write a song, it's going to be a song. But it is healing for me. Yeah. It really is. I mean, if you put out a song and it doesn't do anything, or you can't sing, so what? Get it out. Get it out in some way. Yeah.
Now, are you involved in the process of creating the melody as well, or do you leave it up to another member of the team?
No, I do it all.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So then what is that process like for you to come up with the melody for a song that you write?
Yeah. So, a lot of times it could start with the first verse, and then I'll get stuck doing the chorus. A lot of times you get stuck on the bridge. And then I realize every song doesn't have to have a bridge, but it's wherever the notes kind of hit with the words. I never write words down and say, okay, what note can I hit with this? I do get people giving me music and saying, can you write words to this? A lot. And that's pretty much how I made my bread and butter raising, my kids on my own, is people giving me, instrumentals, and then I would put the words to them. Again, even in rap, they would say, hey, we got this rap song, we can't get the hook. And then I would just write the hook. And then they would say, okay, we only have this. We need you to write a chorus so we can rap around it, you know? So, yeah, I think music varies in everything, you know, that comes to me. But I can't say if I come up with the melody or the verse first or the chorus first, but definitely the melody is in my head.
Where do you find that you get your biggest inspiration? And by that, for example, I mean, for me, in my case, sometimes just being asleep, I dream an answer to something that I've been trying to figure out days before, and then all of a sudden, during my dreams, bam, I got it.
Yeah, that's how the Wizard of Oz was created. I had a dream. Yeah, I do that too. I think that songwriting can be the most dangerous thing in the world. I've slipped out of a shower to write something down and almost cracked my head.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Oh my gosh, I got a song. I have dreamt of a song. And and then sometimes it's horrible because you don't remember it in the morning. You're like, but I was on stage. I was at the Latin Grammys. I was at Grammy. Yeah. But I did have a dream that I won an award, big award in my future. So I'm really happy about it. But yeah, I do get songs and things from dreams. Yeah. More likely, I wish I would wake up to some of them because there are some pretty good songs I wrote in my dream.
Yeah. There was a time in my life where I used to keep a little digital voice recorder next to me on my nightstand.
Yeah, me too.
So that I could just
Me too. Yeah.
wake up and record whatever was on my mind at the time.
Now
But
we got our cell phone for that.
yeah, exactly. Now I kind of just, it's gone out the window because I...
Like literally,
So,
y'all,
yeah.
I'm looking, it's in the grass out the window.
But yeah, any other places you get in? I mean, it seems like for you, an inspiration could just come at any given time.
Yeah, like I said, I was on the plane. I saw the the hands came to me. Andale Yeehaw, writing that, I just kept hearing yeah, and that's another thing too, because people are like, didn't Nelly do a song? And it's like, the funny thing is I spelled Ondale Ondale because of Nelly. Thank you, Nelly, because we paid a lot of money to get to brand it, and then they're like, that's not how you spell Ondale, and I went, oh shoot. So yeah, he said yeehaw or yeehaw, and then the little who's the little mouse, Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Andale, yeah. So he doesn't say andale yeehaw. So yeah, don't get me on that, people. We already researched that one too. But yeah, I just things that I just hear. Again, like I say, I'll it could be anything doing this podcast today, and something I have my notepad right here just in case. But if I told you a couple things right now that I wrote recently, they're going in my song, so I can't. I'd be giving other people ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever bumped into maybe somebody hearing a lyric or two that you've come out with, and then they, kind of like take it as their own? They steal it in a way without your permission. Have you ever run into that issue?
No. I don't think that's happened, but I think being a songwriter, you really have to be mindful. You heard about the whole thing with Katy Perry, and
yes,
I mean, that's scary because songwriters, it's a tough gig. I mean, when you sit there and you write something, sometimes it's so good, you're like, oh my gosh, did I hear it somewhere? Is it something? Because there was a time, this one guy had written a song, and I told him, you can't release that. And he said, why? I said, that's on the Spanish channel. That's someone's song. And he went, oh shoot, that's where I heard it. So, and some people do it in a little sneaky way. They figure, oh, this is a Spanish channel, so maybe not on this. So I'm really happy that I do listen to all types of music, because that makes me more mindful of, I've heard a couple songs on the radio. I won't say what class, but one of them sounds like a Journey song at the very beginning. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's Journey. And then this is a different channel. And I don't know how they get away with that. Maybe the money, or I don't know, but yeah, there's a few songs out there that I've heard that are kind of like, one was a Belinda Carlisle. The chorus was Belinda Carlisle completely, one of her songs.
Wow.
So yeah, so I don't know. I do know that on certain things I've done it. I did we're doing a song right now and it kind of sounded a little bit like This Land Is Your Land.
Oh,
And I was like,
yeah.
oh, wait a minute. We got to change that. So we do a high note instead of the low note.
Oh, interesting.
So there are ways of getting around certain things, but you really have to be mindful.
Yeah, yeah. What are some of the other steps that you take to make sure that you're not copying anything that you've heard before from a different artist that's out there somewhere?
I go into my producer's studio. I'll go to a couple people that I know in music that I can really trust, and I'll say, "Hey, I thought of this song," and they're like, "That is hilarious," or "That is, oh my God." Again, I love writing country music. It's they say, if what is it, when you stop drinking, you get your dog back, your wife, and your everything comes back around. I don't, but I've written some pretty funny songs. And so I make sure that, I'm like, have you heard this song before? Does this sound familiar? Like, no. And then I'll go to other people that are in country So I really want to make sure that they're originals in their mind. I don't think it's bad. I'm sorry, people, but sometimes familiarity is good. I think to me, I think it's like, wow, that's thanks. They put a little bit of my song in there. I'll give you a little bit of cha-ching, but I don't think, the whole suing process is necessary. I don't know. It scares everyone,
Yeah. And I don't think it should be like that. I mean, there's growing up, you're influenced by a lot of stuff.
Right. It's an influence. Right.
Exactly.
I think it would make me feel like, wow, that they know me or they listen to. I think when you steal a song, you steal a song. I mean, all the way through it, you do. But I think when you have something that has just a little bit of something else, and you really didn't do it on purpose, I just really think that's you inspired by that person. Like, wow, that was a great song. Like, oh yeah.
Exactly. And it's like
tell the master people, the people that master it, they know. They know everything in music. It's like, wait a minute. You should have the people that master the songs go, hey, you know what? This sounds a little too close.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, somebody say it before it gets out there. Yeah, because it's scary. It really is.
There's all this influence. I mean, I grew up hearing or listening to pop and doo-wop.
Come on,
the 50s,
rap.
60s.
I was doing rap.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So, well, the thing with the Latin country also, I'm glad you said that. I really want to bring back the cowboy. My family still rides horses at the Rose Parade. And the beautiful horses and the lassos and everything. And I just hear so many country songs now that, I was in my truck, or one of the girls wrote a song with being in her Mercedes. And I'm just like, wow, that's not kind of, it doesn't sound country what I remember country. Horses and lassos and dirt on your boats and, all that crazy stuff. And I feel like there are still cowboys out there, and they are Latino, and they are still hardworking people. And in any culture, I mean, there's people in different states, and they're still out there and, in their cowboy boots and stuff. My girlfriend, Ashley, she's a realtor, amazing, Ashley Lavelle, and she has horses. And, I go to her house sometimes, and she's feeding the horses and watering the horses, and, so there are some real people out there that still live that way. And, they were raised that way, and they continue that hard work. And that's another thing I want to kind of bring back is the cowboy, the people that are still out there on horses. And so that's good.
Now you mentioned the Rose Parade.
Yes.
And there was something unique about the Rose Parade this year in 2020.
Yes.
What was
had
that?
The first Hispanic Latina. She was the first to be crowned. And I was like, wow. We couldn't get me out there for the Andale Hija, which would have been amazing, but definitely, like I said, it's inevitable. And I think it's amazing that, Spanish music has been beautiful. Latin music. I mean, we were at the restaurant, and Hector Lavoe was playing, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And we were talking about the movie, the movie of Hector Lavoe, El Contante. And I just, the music, I think, a lot of people lose that music and the instruments, and it's a beautiful culture. And to combine it into anything, like I said, I mean, it's coming into rap, it's coming into rock, it's coming into, and just to put it with country is just, it had to be there. I mean, it should have been there, right? It should be there. So So I just, again, like I said, just bringing in that cowboy, the real cowboy with country. You got Latin country, you know.
Do you think you'd ever sing any other type of genre, or are you just going to stick with country for now? But let's just say down the road, if somebody asked you, hey, do you think you could write a ballad for?
I'm already doing that.
Okay.
I already have somebody who was in a big band years ago, and she got a hold of me, and she's starting a new band. And again, like I said, I have a huge library.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even Mariah Carey says she's got this, you know, thousands of songs, never been, you know. And to me, it's like I have songs I would love for other people to sing. And I'm not one of those people that's like, these are my songs and I'll do them one day. No. Mm-hmm. Alanis, hey, I got some songs during that time when I was mad at everybody's. So, and that's another thing about my life is I've written love songs. I've written songs that are just, you know, and the funny thing is I write more songs of being mad when I'm in love and happy, and more songs when I'm, you know, just like upset and hurting and whatever. And then there's my love song. I'm very backwards. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. I kick a football backwards. There's something wrong with me.
No, that's great though. You have, I think, great talent.
Oh, thank you.
You just, you know, so some of the things you just can't teach people. You
Yeah.
can go to a music school all you want, but there's
Right.
just certain things you just can't.
Well, the great thing about me moving so much as a child, I moved, oh my goodness, I can't even, sometimes every 6 months, you know, 4 different high schools, you know, but
Wow.
every single school I went to had a different music program. So I kind of am happy that I did that because, well, I didn't do that. It was brought upon me, but I was in Camerata in one school. I was in Guys and Dolls. I was in a cappella. So I went to a lot of different choirs that a lot of people would have never known about or experienced. So I thank those music teachers. Leonard Sassine was my, he wanted to send me to Juilliard, and he was amazing. Amazing. He taught me so many things. I mean, he hit my head with a pencil so many times, but but he taught me everything I know about, and that was a cappella choir, no instruments. So that, to me, to read the notes, and one day he would say, hey, we're missing a tenor, you know, first tenor, we need you. We're missing a first or second alto. We're missing a second soprano. I would just fit right in.
Wow.
Because I learned so much from him, and that's how I harmonize. Another way of my bread and butter years ago is people couldn't harmonize with themselves. So I do like 5-part harmonies. All my songs, that's all me. All the harmony is me. And that's fun to me. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'll do all the melody, and then they'll be like, okay, we're going to spend a lot of time. We have to do your harmony now. And it's like, oh, no. We got this down. That's 10 minutes.
Now, if there's one artist out there, I mean, there's many great ones I'm sure
Yeah.
you have, but if you just could pick one, somebody that you really wanted to
I got her.
collaborate with.
Oh, collaborate. I thought
Yes.
you meant that inspired me.
Oh, well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll do the inspiration
Okay.
first, and then one that you would really want to collaborate with at some point in your career.
Collaboration's so hard. Well, for harmonies, what really inspired me was In Vogue. I would sing with them, and I would do the first one through the whole song and then the second one through the whole song. I just love the harmonies. They helped me out a lot. Cindy from In Vogue has become a really good friend of mine. I love her to death. She's amazing, beautiful soul. But I think that Karen Carpenter was my inspiration. The only reason, and still to this day, she never screamed what she sang. She never tried to out-note anyone. She just sang beautifully. And I actually did a thing called Karen Carpenter, and I sang. A lot of people say my voice sounds like her. I did Merry Christmas, Darling. And I'll put that out next Christmas, or actually this year, Christmas. I have a few Christmas songs coming out.
Ooh, is it going to be a Christmas album?
We're going to try to do that. I've written some Christmas songs, and I want to kind of bring out some other my favorites. So yeah, and Merry Christmas, Darling was my favorite. But I just loved it. And people don't realize she was so simple, but it was so hard. every single note she did was just on point. And the cute, the thing she does with her voice it was just amazing. It's not the easiest voice to sing, but I idolized her a lot. So, and who I would like to sing with? Oh my gosh. Male, female, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Wow. Okay, well, since I'm in country now. Oh my goodness, this is hard. This is really hard. I don't know. I mean, Keith Urban, I love him. He just really, I love the rock in it. Thank you, Keith Urban, because that's how I got Rubberneck, that song. There's a really great guitar solo in there that's amazing, and I only got away with it because of Keith, So, he brought the rock to country, and I love it. But I don't know. I really don't know. That's a hard one. I'm sorry. But y'all, I'm here.
No worries.
I'm here. If you want to collaborate, I am here. Yes. So, because there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's hard to pick. If somebody were to ask me who I want to, I'm in news, so who I would want to be working with, doing a special project, it'd be hard for me too.
Yeah. See, I would love to do something with Zach Brown Band, because they influenced me, and they, again, like I said, thank them for that song, because, and then another thing was Tim McGraw. He did a song. I know a girl from Spain. I can't pronounce her name. Well, my father's from Spain and my name is Dianña. So that was another kind of thing that, I kind of joke about. But again, they're all singing songs about putting their feet in the sand and drinking a margarita and a cold one. It's there. So, yeah.
Okay, let's talk a little a couple things that were brought up a little earlier, but one of them actually is your name, because your name is there's a uniqueness to it. I don't think I've ever
heard of
seen a Dianña anywhere else.
Right.
Where does that come from? And first of all, how do you spell it? Sandy, no. Come here, Sandy. No.
Sandy wants to know too. This is the cutest dog. It's a Cocker Spaniel, and he's adorable. I'm taking him home with me, so when you lose your dog, sorry. Well, yeah. So again, like I said, my original birth certificate had 2 N's in it, and someone in my life, which I say my stepmonster, he took off one of the N's, and I did not like that at all in my whole life. And I said, when I turn 18, I'm going to go back to Dianña, and I did. And my dad, my real dad, when I finally met him, he told me that he named me after an ex-girlfriend. So, but hers was the Diana with 2 N's. So the Iñe kind of came from me. So I would get away from that name from my past. So yeah, it's Dianña. Yeah. España, Spain.
Yep.
Dianña came from Spain, and now I live in La Cañada. So Dianña, España, La Cañada.
It's
Dianña, yeah.
That's a good homage to your roots.
Right. No, it is. It really is. And again, like I said, it's just, it's a healing process for me too. We all heal in our own ways. There was another a model out there, and I didn't know a lot of these people that have different names. They escape from their past and they tell their story. And I believe you should be comfortable with whoever you are. In fact, I was saying I want to change my name to Dianña Latin Country. Just that's it. Middle, last name. That's it. So might do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, were there any great childhood experiences that you've had that you really fondly remember, and you try and keep those in your memory and maybe remember it in one of the songs?
Yeah. So the thing that saved me the most, I think I was sent away to Bible camp every single summer. And that saved me. It really did, not in all the ways possible, but I was just really happy there. I remember that was my happy place, which was very ironic, because when we ended up at the Bible camp for the 20th anniversary news camp, I was like, is this telling me I'm not supposed to sing these songs? But it really inspired me. I think there was always a piano in the gospel hall, and I always sat at the piano. again, like I was saying, I met the gospel messengers there, and they didn't know what I was going through in my life, but they don't know what they've done for me when they asked me to come sing with them, because they were harmonizing in a room and they were going to perform. And I said, can I sing with you? And someone in my life, and I won't say who she was, which very close to me, said, you can't harmonize. You can't, don't do that again. You can't harmonize. And people that were really close to me in my life put me down a lot. I mean, it was really hard for me to get that strength to say, hey, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. And that's when they had told me, you can harmonize. You're really good. And they put me on stage with them. I'm 13 years old,
Wow.
And so that inspired me. It's like, okay, I can harmonize. Forget her, So, when I encourage people, if anyone ever says anything, you can't, you don't, you whatever, there's a jealousy out there. There are people out there that will stop you because they don't want you to succeed. Just do it. Just don't listen to them and go on with your life. And, you never know.
Yeah.
That could have shot me down,
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's very important that one gets their self-confidence.
Right.
There's because that's when you excel at your work. There's a colleague of mine I used to work with in Santa Barbara, and she was very skillful at what she did, but a lot of the time she questioned herself,
Right.
because people were telling her otherwise or not
And
creating an
sometimes it's your
environment.
family. Sometimes it's your family, and you really have to just, families, please support each other, because it was a lot of people in my family that gave me the worst. My appearance, of my, voice, of who I was. I really had a really hard. I went through anorexia. I was 99 pounds at 18 years old. Even I went into modeling at 20 years old or 21. And I just remember them telling me, you need to lose 5 more pounds. And I'm like, where, and it's just, so there's a lot out there that can really hurt your confidence, and everything else. And I just really feel that, if you end up with a family like I have, always know, and this is what I always said in my head, no matter where I was when I turned 18, I am me. Mm-hmm. I take over. This is my life. This is me. So no matter what you're going through as a child, which they say that's where everything starts. What you go through as a child is who you are as an adult. Well, I had the strength to say, when I become an adult, you guys are gone. And that's what I did. So, once you hit that point of being independent, don't listen to all that. Just don't. Yeah. Anything negative is from a person who is negative themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And look where they are now. Like, seriously, look where.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've been so blessed with where I am in life, and I didn't have a tough childhood like many people out there do. Mm-hmm. What I did have, though, was more of a sheltered life. So I don't think I actually saw LA for the first time until I was in my teens.
Wow.
Because it was so, I always kept hearing, no, you go out, it's a dangerous world, somebody's going to mug you, stab you, whatever,
Yeah.
And so it got me afraid to a point where I wouldn't want to
get out of your bubble.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it wasn't until I actually got into news where that bubble burst. And growing up until that point, I was a really shy kid. I mean, there was one. Yeah. And I always tell this story, and I've told it in other podcast episodes, but there was this one time when my family and I were driving down to Mexico, and the van broke somewhere in near Phoenix. So we got towed into Phoenix, and my dad and I went to a little diner to get a burger to eat. And there was this woman who I thought was like really good looking, and so I got so shy that I froze and I couldn't eat anymore. Until eventually my dad saw that and he's like, "Okay, we're leaving." But that's how bad bad I was with being shy.
I have a certain walk when I'm shy. My girlfriends say if a good looking guy walks by me, you'll know, because my head tilts. And I walk stupid. They're like, look at your head is tilted to the right. And they're like taking pictures. I don't know what it is. It's like, okay, don't touch me. My head's on my shoulder. I don't know. So yeah, I get that way when there's people.
Well, were you a shy kid growing up?
It wasn't that I was shy. It was just my brother and sister needed a little more attention, I think. And so I was kind of like
Yeah.
the younger one. I had a lot held in because of, like I said, in my past and secrets and all that stuff. And I think that's why I always make fun of things now. Like, even though people are like, we have no idea you had, because I always make jokes of it. And it's not I don't want people to sit there and go, oh my gosh, like, you say you're a widow. Oh my gosh, you're a widow. It was so many years ago, and I kind of make, like we were talking last night, you're ever going to get married again? And I was just laughing because I was just like, yeah, married rhymes with buried, and marriage is mirage. It's misspelled, and, but I always keep my jokes about it. But yeah, so anything I went through as a child, I definitely make sure that, again, like I said, with charities and everything, I help, but I do kind of make light of it. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But being shy, yes, I was a very shy child because of everybody telling me so many bad things about myself.
Oh no. Yeah. Well, what about in school? Were you a good student?
Well, see, that's the great thing about school too, is we move so much. So I was okay. I couldn't take tests, and the teachers knew. I was very, very shaky during tests. I would almost like faint.
Wow.
So they would let me grade papers and then take the test later. I don't know what it is. I just have a really crazy thing about, I did have problems reading when I was younger. I remember that, like reading and comprehension. And I think it's because of my life again, like going through so many crazy things. But yeah, school, going to a new school all the time. People you would think would be like, oh my gosh, a new school. Me, no, I became a new person. Like, who am I going to be at this school? Then you make friends and they would be like, oh, you're my best friend. And in my mind, it was kind of sad because I'm like, I knew I was going to move again. Like my mother. Okay. So this was a pattern and I don't think she realized this, but she would have this thing of, we would move into a new house and we would unpack, but she would not be mindful of what line we lived on, like the school line. So even though we were in a gorgeous house in Covina, I went to school in La Puente.
Wow.
So, oh yeah, I came home. I was like, "This is my family. You don't understand." And she's like, "We're moving." But every time that the record would go on, and I just dated myself, didn't I? Every time she would turn on either, let's see, Kenny Rogers or Johnny Mathis, we were moving, because that was her song to start taping boxes. Those were her records. Start taping, we're moving again. Kenny Rogers on. Yep, the Gambler's on and we are moving. So yeah, but it was hard for me because I would look at my friends and say, we're moving again, and they didn't understand it. So I never can really go to like a school reunion. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I get a lot of people saying, God, you look familiar. And I'm thinking, yeah, I probably went to school.
Yeah, all the schools in the LA area.
No, I went to Oregon. We moved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we moved a lot. I think I went to Monrovia High School, Charter Oak High School, and I graduated Granada Hills High School. Oh, wow. But I also went to school in Santa Barbara.
Where in Santa Barbara? Which
San
school?
Marcos High School.
Oh, crosstown rivals.
I knew you were going to say Santa Barbara High School. Yeah. Yeah. We were driving, we rode our little scooters, remember? Everything was a scooter. Yeah. State Street scooters.
Yeah, I remember. Geez. I mean, now I think the last time I was in Santa Barbara was for a news story that I was covering, and I ended up going to Santa Barbara High School, and it just looked so different. Everything was more compact.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, man, I must have been like a shrimp at that point, because even the lockers look smaller and just everything looks so small.
Lockers.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yeah. No, I went to Monrovia High School. I did one of those little drive arounds. I actually did to see the schools I went to when I was younger. And some of the schools are just so redone. There's no lockers. The lockers are gone.
Wow. Have you ever gone back to a school that you went to maybe do a performance or do some kind of talk or just visit some of the staff members there, the teachers maybe they're still there?
Well, the funny thing is, okay, so I went to elementary school and I won't really name the city because they probably know what happened. But I went to elementary school, and I had a music teacher there. And then when we moved a lot in high school, I went back to the high school like years later, and they had a music program, and I went into it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this must be the wife of my music teacher from my elementary school, because it's in the same city. And I went up and I was like, is that Mr. So-and-so's wife? And they said, no, that's Mr. So-and-so. He's now a woman.
Whoa.
So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, I was like, whoa, yeah. So that was a little to take in at the time, but yeah, that was kind of cool. It was just like, wow, that is him. So yeah, I kind of.
Yeah, that's what you've been up to all these years.
That was probably the most interesting thing that did happen. Yeah. So, but no, I don't know. I mean, it's like you don't know how many teachers are there that have been there for, you know what I mean? And I wasn't out of school that long to really, again, like, God, the memories, because so many things happen that.
Yeah.
Mr. Long, I remember him. I went to school in Monrovia at Wild Rose. Mm-hmm. And I remember Mr. Long, he read Beezus and Ramona, and he had this big poof of hair, and he would put his pencil in it, and then he would just run around saying, who took my pencil? He's got like 5 pencils in his hair. Yeah. So I'll remember him. Yeah.
That sounds like
memories.
so much fun. Yeah. Do you have time to watch TV shows like the Goldbergs, for example?
No.
Shows that are set in the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s. Yeah, it's
I do watch The Real Housewives, though, don't you? I knew one of them, so that was kind of yeah. But no, I haven't seen. I really don't have time to, the reality shows I watch. I mean, I know they're scripted, but I do watch some of them so I can write. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, country music is a funny story. So I do I did write one song watching one of the Housewives.
Interesting. Okay. And just take me through a typical day. So there's what? I'm assuming you probably sleep 8 hours?
No,
Less?
no. I have a 21-year-old cat.
Actually, yes. Let's talk a little bit about that, because I saw a picture of your cat, and he does not look 21.
Right. So we stay young in my household. It's me and my cat. Yeah. He knows all my secrets. He's been my boyfriend for 21 years. So I guess I am married to a cat. His name is Bubby Gato. And I actually have a rhyme for him. He has a rap. And so I kind of want to get that done as soon as possible. But his little verse is, my name is Bubby and I'm a little chubby, but that's okay. Felines like me that way. Because I'm an OG, original gato.
I love that.
So we'll get his little rap out there soon. But he has dementia now. So he doesn't know at night. I guess at night they kind of like just meow at anything, and you have to say, I'm here, I'm here. So it's been really tough to sleep lately. So now that I'm starting to travel, I'm going to be going to Texas this month, Nashville next month. I really love my time sometimes. So sorry, Bubby, but yeah, it's been hard.
Do you plan on taking him with you, or
no?
Okay.
No, he's definitely has his little you get the old man ramp for him. He's got the little walk ramp, and he's a senior box. You never think you have to buy a senior cat box, but there are things out there for these little guys.
Wow. What does the senior box look like?
I live with a senior citizen, y'all. He's over 100 years old. It's just a cat box, but the little dip where they walk in is really low.
Oh, wow.
And then
Okay.
he scoots the sand everywhere. You're like, it's a beach in my bedroom. Yeah. So, yeah. But, the ramp, we built the ramp, not with stairs, but the regular ramp. That's like the best for him and his little black legs. But
okay, so one of the other points actually that I wanted to bring up was you mentioned it earlier. So this is point number 2, and that was the use of "Andale Yija" on your Instagram posts.
Oh yes.
Yes. So is that just a reference? I'm assuming to the song, or is there something else that goes beyond?
So I think it's because I hashtag everything Andale Yija. I think it's just my thing now. It's kind of my brand. So every time I end something, we just did a little video in here. I was just like, andale, yeehaw. And everyone loves it. It's my personality. It's my thing. If you look on my Instagram, I'm walking down, Venice Beach. And I actually have these little stickers. I brought some for you, but they're for the vehicle, hashtag andale, yeehaw. And I get people behind me like on their phones. So we kind of put them all around Venice Beach. So if you go to Venice Beach, you'll see them on the little restaurant stand. So I walked down there and I was like, hey, this is Dianña and, Venice Beach, andale, yeah. So it just works. Then people know me and, and the hashtag and stuff. So yeah, it's I've been verified on Instagram, y'all. Verified.
How was that experience when you first woke up and saw that blue check mark?
My manager called me and I just put something, and I do run my own Instagram. Some of the people out there that are saying things, I did get a girl saying you should be, they're using this girl and she should be turned in. And I said, I don't know what you're talking about, but have a wonderful New Year's. I always make things happy, smile. It makes them nervous or, So anyway, I do run my own Instagram and my Facebook. So, but yeah, I just did it and I looked and I saw this check and I went, what is this? And then I went, wait a minute, did I just get checked? And then my manager called me and he said, did you notice your Instagram? So I was just like, yay. So my Twitter is getting checked. Probably this month I'll be official on my Twitter.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, we had to change a lot of things around because I had somebody from China who took my name.
Oh.
And then she put the tilde on it. And I'm just like, pronounce it. Yeah, so she was trying to take my name.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you said, when people steal stuff. Yeah, it's trying to take my name.
Your music. So let's talk about where it's available. So where can people find your music?
Okay, so I made it a lot easier for people because I'm actually on, I am on Spotify. I'm on Apple Music, Pandora. The great thing, last year, Pandora put me as their top artist for 3 months, 2 times in a row.
Whoa.
So that was really cool. That was really cool. And then I put a SoundCloud up now. I'm on iHeartRadio also. So, but the SoundCloud on my Linktree has all my songs available now. So you don't have to go in and do all the purchasing, just that you uploaded it. So I do have that with a little snippet of my song Hands. So you guys can get a sneak preview. You guys got the whole song, but they can get a sneak preview. And then, YouTube. We're really going to start putting up more YouTubes of me singing live. Live show performances at my house. I finally got into a house. I'm so happy. And we have it set up so it'll be really nice. We'll do some jam sessions with some great people from award-winning talent to talent that hasn't been out yet, to just going to do some, jam sessions. And then, again, I'll be in El Paso, Texas, and we're going to redo Rubberneck in Conga, and that'll be a live video. So we're going to start incorporating some more live videos of me. And so, yeah, it's cool.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any albums out right now?
No, we're doing it song by song right now.
Okay.
We're going to be putting together more videos. Again, like I said, this is a new process. Latin country has just come out. I know a lot of people do have song video. Hands comes with a live video from the studio of me singing. We're doing Rubberneck in a live performance too. We did a live performance for the anniversary again, like we had mentioned. Yes. And so some of that will come out on YouTube. So your wife will be doing the Andale Yeehaw dance probably on one of my live videos.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm going to have to learn that. I'm going to have to learn the dance.
You will.
I don't do much line dancing, but this is great.
What did I say? I've never line danced, and I did a line dance. That's why I said I'm very proud. If I can do it, anyone can. Seriously. It's very, very basic, but you have to do it in 4s.
Yeah.
And so that's what I had to kind of like learn. Okay, dun, 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 so yeah. And then you have to clap and turn. So it is actually in 4s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you start working on a lot of these songs and just kind of building your career as you were raising kids? Or did you wait until they were a little bit more grown up to?
No, I did music my whole life.
Yeah.
I was during that time that you couldn't walk in. I walked in Interscope Records and I said, "Hey, I can do hooks and stuff." And they said, "Well, sing to us." And so I did a little bit of Secret Lovers, Secret Love. So I just started singing a little bit of song, and they're like, "Hey, wait, she's got a little bit of soulful voice." And they said, "Would you like to sing some hooks?" And I was like, "Well, sure." And so I did a hook that they had me, sing on, and they said, "Okay, can you harmonize?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can harmonize." And so that's how it all started. And then a lot of underground people found me, and that's what they had said, "Hey, we got some underground people." And then I ended up with Mr. Kane. He was one of Snoop Dogg's singers, and Jerry, and he said, "Hey, you need to come to Snoop's house." And so I went to Diamond Bar and I went to Snoop's house, and it was kind of cool because they put me in a shower. The echoes in here is great. And so it kind of like I was always at the right place at the right time. I think it was kind of cool.
Well, yeah, nowadays you can't just walk in.
You can't. There's no way. There's no way. So I got really fortunate in a lot of things I did. I was also, don't knock me for this, but I was a beer girl. I was a Miller, Pacifico, Modelo. Yeah. And and a Bud girl. So I got into a lot of NASCAR and stuff like that events. So in those events, I would always go towards the DJ or towards the music. And then that's how I met a couple other, artists. And then I ended up on Power 106 and, with the rap artists. So it was kind of cool. I think the great thing about me going through such a crazy life is that I will never stop writing music in any area or genre. Like if I'm feeling upset, I can write a rock song or a love song, like I said, but wherever music takes me, I go. I've never been stumped, like I don't know how to write like a ballad, or I can write everything, which I'm very happy. Very happy for. So whatever I went through in my past, thank you. Because
no, with all the given technology that's out there now, do you think it's easier to be a recording artist today than in years past? Or
you're talking money wise? Because
well, that includes money wise, yes, but also just to get your music out there, I suppose, without having to go through a record label and
right. Well, this is the first time I've ever had a manager. So, which is kind of cool. I don't really, not really a manager, more of an investor, but somebody who, he knows his way around the music business, which is really, really good to have. There is a woman that I spoke to, Annette Tucker, and she's beautiful, beautiful older lady. And she has taught some of the biggest songwriters to write music. She's taught me a little bit of winning an award. And she said, when you win like a Grammy for songwriting, they take away all of the performer and the vocals, instruments, and everything, and they just go down to the bone of just reading. And if you have that it line, or you have that oh my gosh brilliant line, that's how you win as a songwriter. So I learned from her, but I also learned from her that everything money wise is just not where it used to be. She was telling me about her residuals and things that she made for her songs and everything. And she's just like, I look at my BMI account sometimes and it's like 36 cents for a song that got over 1 million views, So it's a lot different. I do think, songwriters and thank goodness they are getting their, they're out there fighting, and which they should. But to be a singer-songwriter, it's a different world. It really is. My thing is I just really want the world to love my music. I'm not really out there. I mean, I'm comfortable where I am. So I'm not really one of the, I've never been a starving artist to say, because I've always fallen onto doing, like I said, harmonies. I've always been in some studio by word of mouth or something. People saying, hey, I have a song. Like I said, I've helped people write songs. Started that little business on my own too. Somebody said, I want to write a love song for my wife. It's not going to go anywhere, but I want to sing it to her on Valentine's Day. Wow. So I did that. When you're not making money, you figure out how to make money.
Yeah.
So, my whole deal is I just want people to love my music. Yeah. And just to really, now I just to really embrace it and know it came from my heart. And it is a story and I'm telling it, whether it's hilarious or whether it's, back to gospel. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, Dianña, before we wrap this up, I just want to just give you the last word. If there's anything that you like to end with, in the past we've had folks just give their personal advice for people, or end on some positive note, or on a joke sometimes. But is there anything that you like to say that maybe I didn't ask in this conversation?
Yeah, I just, again, like I said, if there's something that you feel and you really believe in, don't be afraid to share it and bring it out there. I mean, I've been in music my whole life. So to sit there and put things together, I think I think I've learned, and it took me this many years. Some bands perform, I think it was No Doubt, 10 years, and they finally were discovered. So, don't ever give up. I do a hashtag never give up on your dreams all the time. Don't give up. It doesn't matter. I mean, and that's another thing with country music is that, they do embrace people now. It has changed. It really has changed. I mean, a lot of people were kind of like, we don't want it to change, but it's changing. The world is changing. And I think that one thing that has remained the same is music. Music is healing. Music is power. Music is there. When you're going through a sad day, music's there. When you're, when you want to feel good and you want to go dancing, music's there, So we can't tell people not to do a certain thing that we need. We need the air, we need music, and just, again, don't give up. If you ever feel like you really want to do something in life, listen to yourself, and believe in yourself. I see people out there dancing like no one's watching, and God love them. Seriously, just do what makes you feel good. Listen to what makes you feel good. If you don't like a song, and this is another thing too, I mean, Instagram and all the social medias can be evil. If you don't like a song, okay, we're just sharing it with you. Like somebody said, I'm not going to listen. I'm not even going to open it, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll say, and this is a school teacher. And you kind of want to go back and say, hey, you're a school teacher and you're talking to me like, but you don't. I just give it, thank you so much for even answering me back or for listening to me. That's what's, the world is all about, is everyone's different. So I'm doing what I love. I hope everyone loves what I'm doing.
Well said. Well, Dianña, thank you so much for coming all the way out here, the little podcast studio we've had set up here. It was a pleasure having you as a guest, and hopefully you can come again
yes, I'd love to.
After you tour. You can talk about that experience of touring.
Yeah, well, it's gone everywhere. Another thing I was going to say is that UK is loving this music. I'm getting people from Holland, Australia. My heart goes out to Australia right now and everything they're going through. But yeah, I've got people from El Salvador. I have people saying, hey, we're from Africa and we're saying hi to you. UK magazine put me on the front cover of their Mic Drop magazine. And then I've been interviewed in the UK. So I'm really happy with everyone that's coming forward. And internet is amazing. Social media is amazing. None of this would have ever been anywhere if it wasn't for social media. So yeah, thank you all.
All righty. Thank you again. We'll wrap this up, and everybody have a great week.
Hasta la next time. Andale, yeehaw.
My thanks again to Dianña for having the bravery and courage to come on this podcast and telling her life story. Perhaps her story can help somebody that might be listening to this episode and might be going through the same thing. As always, I do encourage everybody to rate this podcast. We are on Apple Podcast and Spotify, as well as other major platforms. The more you rate, the more chances this podcast has on reaching more ears out there. And if you have any questions or comments, please send them to hangrymexicanpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's hangrymexicanpodcast@gmail.com. And I would love to perhaps feature some of those questions or comments in a later episode. All right. Well, thanks everybody for listening. And until next time, good night. Good luck.